So good evening, good evening, good evening. We are back again to talk all things Thomas Partey, all things Arsenal, Manchester United, and a little sprinkle of Mbappe. Oh dear. Anyway, big up to everybody tuning in. Make sure you are sticking a like on the video. If you watch me every day, that should just be standard procedure. Make sure you are subscribed. If you don't watch me every day, then subscribe and then get notifications, and you can, if they bother to send them, which they very rarely do. Good one. Make sure you are leaving your comments and super chats down below as well. I will come back to people in the comments here and there. But also, check out the second channel. I've just done a video about Mbappe, actually, so go and check that video out. Lee Reacts, link in description, all of that. But I'm going to go through the press conference Mikel Arteta did. I'm not reading out any of this virtue signaling inverted fullbacks comments at all, because he did it with Zinchenko, obviously to peddle out the PR and the virtue signaling for the game that is coming up, for something that I'm going to zip it. You know what I mean. Anyway, before I upset all the little snowflakes and the non-binary unicorns in my chat, I just want to say I don't care if you get upset. But if you want to read or hear what Alexander Zinchenko said, then you can find it yourself. But I will not be reading his comments out. Can't stand the geezer virtue signaling his way through a press conference. But anyway, let's go. We have obviously got a game up against Manchester United tonight, 11 p.m. Spanish time. But he was asked, Arteta, about Leandro Trossard. 1 second, bear with me. Let me just pull that down there. That's better. He was asked about Trossard. Boom. There we go. That's better. He said he is fine. He trained this morning and he will be available for the game. Perfect. Whether the MLS All-Star game was a test, he said every game is a test, obviously, although we had a very good result. There are things that we can manage better than we did in the game. We drew our positives from it, especially as we won it. Tomorrow's test, obviously this was done yesterday, tomorrow's test will be something very different against a team that's used to playing together and are big rivals for us in the Premier League. So it'll be amazing at that stadium with a full house, incredible atmosphere, and it'll be a really big test to see where we are. And whether he realised that the title race was over, what moment was that? He said when it was mathematically impossible. Until that point, we always had belief and a chance to do it. Obviously, there were moments when it was all in our hands. He actually said it. It was in our hands, and we lost it. There you go. So for all the Arteta sexuals out there that say we didn't bottle it, it was all in our hands, and then we lost it. Your manager's words. Anyway, but there are still games to go, and until the point where it was not mathematically possible, you should never give up. And whether Thomas Partey is still in his plans, it actually took a Ghanaian journalist to ask about Thomas Partey. So get him back again, because he actually asked questions we want the answers to. Thomas is a super important player for us and for me, and we want him to stay in the team. That's for sure, he said. He said every time I've spoken to him, it sounds like that's what he wants to do as well. So hopefully Thomas Partey stays with us. On Nicola Pepe's future, at the moment he's recovering from an injury, which is why he's not here. He had a loan spell on loan, and obviously wanted to get much more than we got from that loan spell. We'll have to see when we get back. Understand that the plans are to make the right decision for him. Well, that tells you right there he's gone. Pretty obvious. This is from one of the super fans who conveniently have managed to get themselves back in to yet another Arteta press conference. Don't you think that's outstanding? That is absolutely outstanding. 1 week you're dancing outside the Emirates, and then the next week you're asking a stupid question to Arteta in a press conference on whether there will be more transfers. Out of all the questions that Toby could have asked, absolute wrong 'un. Out of all of the questions he could have asked, will there be any more signings, Mikel? When you know that it's going to be a generic answer. I don't know. Obviously, there will still be movements. but will be ins and outs. It's still very early. The market seems to be very quiet for the last week or so. If we can improve the team, we'll try to do so. But we don't get any weaker. So we have to be really cautious of that as well. He said a lot without saying anything because the question was dumb. What he should have said is, how happy are you with the squad, Mikel? And what areas do you think on the pitch, or what positions do you think that we're in a position of weakness and strength? Which areas would you like to maybe do something in? Then, yes, you may still get a generic answer, but he will then identify, hopefully, a part of the team. He's not going to sit and go, oh, yeah, we're definitely going to go out and buy some more players. He's not going to say that. Anyway, Curtis. You had one shot, one opportunity. Did you capture it? Or did you let it slip, baby? Curtis, what are you doing, bro? This is Curtis's question on whether Kylian Mbappe is a realistic target. Curtis, brother, you know that this guy is not going to answer that question. And he didn't. You know that I never talk of players that don't play for our club, he said. Sorry. There we go. On William Saliba, he said, let me ask my assistant, what do you think of Willie? Alexander Zinchenko replies, unbelievable. Well, that doesn't surprise me one bit that he finds Willie unbelievable. Anyway, he'll have a rainbow flag in his bio soon. Maybe he already has, to go with the Ukraine one. Anyway, Mikel Arteta said he's doing really well, Saliba. Obviously, he's a huge player for us. We know what he can bring to the team. He looks good fitness-wise, and I think he's in a good moment. He's happy. He's extended his contract, and everything seems to be okay. On not being happy finishing second, Zinchenko answered that. I'm not even bothered reading it. On if Thomas Partey and Declan Rice can play together. This is crucial, by the way. So perk your ears up, people. He said, yes, they can play together. That was in my plans. If you want to improve the squad and have more quality, you need players that can play together. But we need players in the same position to fight for their places. It's something that we haven't had over the last few years, and we wanted to improve that, and that's why we brought Declan in as well. Then said on how you want to work on different systems for the team. He said, yeah, our plan A1, A2, A3. What is this, piece of paper or what? That's how I want to look at it. So, yeah, we are looking at options, training different options, and you have to understand that sometimes you have to leave the players to see. Because when you see them training, that's when you really can, when they connect with each other. They give you a lot of information. It doesn't have to be all the time. You probably think that you give them a lot of information and that they need to take the information as well. What is he fucking waffling about? This guy is a master bullshitter. I can't lie. Real talk. This guy just talks in riddles. And that's why everyone, they're just bamboozled. They're like, wow, that sounded amazing. You watch how many little weirdos online will now be saying that's plan A1 and plan A2 and plan A3. Get in the bin. And what it's like to play with Mikel. No, that's I'm not reading that. That's the inverted virtue signaler. I don't know if he expects Thomas Partey to stay. He said yes. But we also know this manager is a compulsive liar. Like all Premier League managers, they lie through their teeth. And if there's any conversation where Thomas's priority is, he said, no, every time I've spoke to him, I've had good conversations and he wants to stay with us. There's nothing there at all. And if it'll be harder for us to challenge next season, he said, for sure, the level is going to go up and the teams are getting bigger. The league is getting stronger. Well, the teams are not getting bigger because it's still a 25-man squad, Mikel. You mean the quality of the teams is getting better. Anyway, it's only going to get harder, but we know we're preparing for that and we've got to get better. And we've got to get better. Listen to that. We've got to get better. So he's not happy with second, yeah? And whether we'll have a hangover of being so close last year, he said, no, what happened last year was probably necessary to learn the lessons that you have to learn to get better and more successful in what you want to achieve. It's part of the roles and the journey. And we know the complexity of the league. Another fancy word. Just fuck off, man. The complexity of the league. No, it's pretty. Football's a simple game. All of these modern hipsters trying to ruin it with complexity. Plan A1, Plan A3, inverted, hybrids. What's the other one? Half spaces. Like, fuck off, mate. The aim of the game is to score as many goals as you can and keep out as many goals as you can. That's it. On the upcoming game for the virtue signalers, that answer goes on forever and it's not even being read out. He was then asked on Shakhtar playing Tottenham and the power of football. Again, another load of virtue signaling BS that Alexander Zinchenko wants to waffle about, on how he got involved in the game for Ukraine and whether he'll regularly speak to people, and whether he regularly speaks to people back home. How he got involved is because he's mates with the president. Come on. Crazy. And he's only been back there once in 2 years. He told Piers Morgan that. Thank you very much. If he cared that much, he'd be there, wouldn't he? On the front line. Anyway, on how we'll make sure we lift the Premier League title next season. Mikel Arteta's answers were, well, he said, we have to get better and win every single game. That's the aim. Okay. So if we don't win every single game, then you're leaving because then you failed at the aim, right? Cool. Duly noted, Mikel. 22nd of July. In fact, it was yesterday. 21st of July, 2023. We will have to get better and win every single game. That is the aim. We have to play better and make sure that we enjoy every minute being here, because in the end, it's all about getting the best out of the team. And that's crucial if you want to do that. And at the end, they need to believe that they can do it again. Challenging, man. And that they can get even better. And they have to remind themselves of our standards, that we are going to raise the level and we'll see where we are going to be. This is the vision every single day. He was then asked another stupid question about Mason Mount on facing Mount and whether we tried to sign him. He said we're proud of the players we've got and that we've signed. That's it. But anyway, that concludes the press conference. We did get quite a bit of information out of him, didn't we? So big up to Mikel. But listen, the standards are win the league. Your manager said that. Yeah, so anyone who wants to come chat crap to me, why would you sack him? Well, he's just put the pressure on himself. The aim is to win every single game. So if you don't win a game, leave. And on that bombshell, have a wonderful day. Go subscribe to the channel. Make sure you are subscribing to this channel. Obviously, subscribe. I can't even get my words out. Get this guy a beer. Cheers, guys. But yeah, make sure you go and subscribe to the other channel. Dropped a video about Mbappe on that literally half hour ago. So go and check that out. Lee Reacts. Make sure you're sticking a thumbs up on this one and sub into this one. That close to 85k, literally about 100 away. So make sure you get that done. Leave your comments and super chats down below as well. And I'm going to take a little walk down to my pals and go and sit around the pool. And it's beautiful. 34 degrees outside today. Luckily, it's all downhill. So, yes. Happy days, people. Have a blessed Saturday, whatever it is you're doing. And don't forget, Arsenal kick off 11 p.m. Spanish time, 10 p.m. UK time. There are sites out there that you don't have to give them $5.99 for. Adios, amigos.